Sunday, January 8th here at Laurel Park. Let's see how this track plays out. It's been playing pretty fair with a little bit of bias, maybe a little bit towards the front. Let's find out for these 8 races.
And they're off. Whiskey Mischief and Foul Nation to the front. Uncaptured Storm right there too. Into the turn run they roll. And it's I Am the Mike. On the far outside is Fartlick about 3 deep around the turn and over the border trailing the field. Whiskey Mischief, Uncaptured Storm down to the inside. They provide the early pace together. Fartlick has moved along into third position and Foul Nation rating along back in fourth position. And I Am the Mike and trailing the field is over the border. Whiskey Mischief now takes that lead. Whiskey Mischief from Uncaptured Storm. Fartlick on the outside continues eagerly. Here's Fartlick moving along into the second spot as they move down the backstretch with 5.5 furlongs left to go. Whiskey Mischief in front at a reasonable pace from Fartlick by 3/4 of a length. Uncaptured Storm is in third. I Am the Mike in between horses and over the border, and Foul Nation trailing. Foul Nation now 5.5 to 6 from the lead. Whiskey Mischief into the far turn from Fartlick and Uncaptured Storm. I Am the Mike over the border, another 2 lengths back, and Foul Nation trails. Not much change into the far turn. Whiskey Mischief, Fartlick trying to roll by on the outside under a eye. But there's Whiskey Mischief with a little more with 3 furlongs left to go. Uncaptured Storm is in third position. Over the border is next on the inside, and outside there is over the border. Inside I Am the Mike, and Foul Nation tries to rally for the back of the pack. Foul Nation getting going from dead last, the one widest of them all on the green cap, green sleeves. Top of the stretch, they make the turn for home. Whiskey Mischief, Foul Nation on the outside. Foul Nation with that move from last has taken a narrow lead. Uncaptured Storm down to the inside, and Fartlick as they come to the final furlong. Foul Nation kept to task, leads it by 2 legs. Uncaptured Storm, game on the inside, trying to come right on back there. Uncaptured Storm, Foul Nation, Uncaptured Storm, Foul Nation, 1-2 with a 16th to go. Uncaptured Storm has the stamina under Angel Cruz to win. Uncaptured Storm from Foul Nation. I Am the Mike over the border. Minute 51. In the gate. And they're off. Red Queen and Viking Queen out to the early lead, and World Party settles at the back of the pack. And in between horses, Imagine the Mojo. Caught outside is Beat You by a Chubby Nose. Taken back there is Viking Queen. So Beat You by a Chubby Nose, the one that's going to go on from Red Queen round that turn. Another two, and it's Viking Queen in third, and Imagine the Mojo on the inside. World Party trailing the field. Only 6-7 lengths will cover them. Beat You by a Chubby Nose rolling right along as they make the backstretch run with Red Queen second. In between horses, Imagine the Mojo. Viking Queen is on the outside, and World Party trailing still. Now with 5.5 furlongs left to go, Beat You by a Chubby Nose going for it with speed. Has the lead by 4 or 5 lengths from Red Queen in second, Imagine the Mojo. Viking Queen on the outside is in fourth, and last is World Party still heading into the far turn. Not much change at all with Beat You by a Chubby Nose the target. The lead is 3 lengths. Red Queen second, Imagine the Mojo is in third. Viking Queen out 3 deep in fourth, and World Party in the back still got a chance too. Round that far turn, 3.5 to go. Beat You by a Chubby Nose lead down to a length. Red Queen second. Imagine the Mojo, Viking Queen moving up on the outside now with interest too. And the back of the pack is World Party. The only 3 from the front still with a winning shot. World Party top of the stretch. 3 of them line up. Red Queen, Viking Queen, Beat You by a Chubby Nose. First to fade off the scene and swinging to the outside is World Party. Turning for home. Viking Queen, Red Queen, World Party coming to join them on the outside. 3 chances for a 1.5 left to run. It is World Party on the outside with the momentum. Viking Queen's trying to hold. Viking Queen, World Party on the outside. Viking Queen, World Party, nothing between them. Head to head and nose to nose. Red Queen back in third. Here's World Party. World Party just in front. World Party, and Viking Queen with Red Queen. And then it was Imagine the Mojo and Beat You by a Chubby Nose.
When we started adding protocols, the first thing we knew we wanted to do was to add veterinarians watching training. We really had to look at all of the opportunities that we had to impact horse safety, controlling medication and training, which had never been done, investing in cutting-edge diagnostic techniques, decreasing the amount of medication that was in the horse on race day. Right now it's training, but we're checking horses that are racing on Saturday. Thank you. You're all right, sweetie. I feel like we are changing things for the better.
Right now, it's basically just being present. We do examine various horses in the days leading up to it. Race day, it's every horse. We're watching the horses, how they warm up. Now they've got weight on their back. We're on different surface. We're still following the horses. All the horses look good during their warm-up, sound ready to run.
I truly feel like we are moving the sport forward. The horses are better for it. We've really changed to focus on putting horses at the center and being the most important part of the equation.
And they're off. Awkward beginning. O'Shaughnessy's at the back of the pack. Bayless Street is up top. Controlled Fire rushing up between horses. Don't Tell Darren with speed, and Happy Clouds on the chase of the Laurel. O'Shaughnessy now takes off. O'Shaughnessy, who broke last, is taking off in between horses to head over the far turn run. Lucidity third last, and finally, and a last and a lack trailing the field. Into the turn, and it's Bayless Street up top from Controlled Fire. O'Shaughnessy on the outside. Happy Clouds has still got that rail. And Don't Tell Darren something amiss there is dropping at the back of the pack. Don't Tell Darren being eased up, it appears, as they round that far turn. Finally is moved up fifth now. A last and a lack, still 7 lengths to make up. So it is Bayless Street, Controlled Fire knocking heads to the quarter pole. In the meantime, O'Shaughnessy's third to the outside. Happy Clouds asks for more down to the inside. 5 more lengths back, and finally, and a last and a lack, saving ground into the stretch. Bayless Street from Controlled Fire has the lead 3 parts of a length, and Happy Clouds room to roam down to the inside. Happy Clouds kicking through down to the inside past the furlong marker to grab the lead from Bayless Street, Controlled Fire. O'Shaughnessy and a last and a lack late on the scene of 16 to go. Happy Clouds is in the clear. Happy Clouds opens up. Happy Clouds as Bayless Street tries to hang on second there with a last and a lack. And then it was O'Shaughnessy and Controlled Fire. Minute 13.99. And they're off. Bit slow to go is Whirlin' Curlin'. Welling out to the front, along with the Money in the Banksy. Into the turn, and Money in the Banksy leads the way. Hot and Spicy Love from the rail draw in the second spot. Then Muchacho Macho racing third to the outside, and Welling takes back in fourth position. Another 2. Should have had it unhurried, racing third to last. Poco Charlie's back there with Whirlin' Curlin'. The 2 trailers at about 8 or 9 off that pace. Money in the Banksy. Money in the Banksy leads the way. 6 1/2 furlongs for the buyer. And the outside, Muchacho Macho and No Hurry in second, and Hot and Spicy Love. Down inside in third, another 2, and it's Welling in fourth. Not much pace on up front. Whirlin' Curlin' racing to the outside. Should have had it down to the inside, and Poco Charlie. Plenty to do now. Has about 10 to make up. Heading over the far turn. Pretty easy lead out there for Money in the Banksy. Money in the Banksy from Muchacho Macho. The lead about 2.5 lengths from Hot and Spicy Love alongside of that in third. Then Should have had it is in fourth. Welling fifth. Whirlin' Curlin' another 5, and Poco Charlie trailing the field. Money in the Banksy, Muchacho Macho makes a bid. There's the second spot, and Hot and Spicy Love 3 wide third, and followed by Welling in fourth as they round the far turn. Whirlin' Curlin' and Shoulda Had It, and Poco Charlie trailing the field. Money in the Banksy had a breather, goes on once more from Muchacho Macho, then Hot and Spicy Love third to the outside and driven, and then Welling is fourth while saving ground. Top of the stretch, a quarter of a mile left to go. Money in the Banksy sent along. Muchacho Macho on the outside, so trying to get by. Muchacho Macho, Money in the Banksy. The inside is Welling. Welling moving through, and the inside opening with a furlong left to go. And three chances is Muchacho Macho, Welling on the inside, and Money in the Banksy in between. Horses flattened out. That's furlong. And here is Welling. Welling with an inside run, and Gene Brasano. Welling. Welling will win clear. Welling from Muchacho Macho, Money in the Banksy, and then Hot and Spicy Love, Poco Charlie. In the gate. And they're off. Bronco Maria and Stimulus Maker and Mr. Mosley up there with early speed too. So there goes Mr. Mosley up to the top for Stimulus Maker, left alongside early. In third position is Tyler Time right off the top pair, and here's Aftermath up close to the inside as well. Badger Tooth is racing fifth, about 3 Pat. Then is Blame It on the Fun. Sweet Asta is taken back, and back to Bronco Maria, and trailing the field as Jack gave back. They race down the backstretch. Mr. Mosley matching strides with Stimulus Maker there on the outside, and Badger Tooth is right off them in third. The inside is Aftermath is next. Then in between horses is Tyler Time and Blame It on the Fun. And back to Bronco Maria, who's racing out in the clear, and Sweet Asta racing inside second to last position. And trailing the field is Jack gave back. They'll have to run on now from about a dozen lengths off the pace into the far turn run. Stimulus Maker, Badger Tooth, 3 wide bid. Mr. Mosley trying to stay down to the inside. Blame It on the Fun quickens up with that top trio. That back to Tyler Time is next in line as they run that turn, and Sweet Asta is now let loose for run. Just above a quarter of a mile left to go for the long run to the second wire. Turning for home, it's Badger Tooth and Stimulus Maker, and Blame It on the Fun on the outside moves along to third. Out the center of the track is Sweet Asta. They're coming to the final for a long and a half, and Badger Tooth is just in front. Blame It on the Fun right there. Blame It on the Fun, Badger Tooth. A top two to go on for the final furlong. They're well clear now. Here is Blame It on the Fun. Blame It on the Fun grabs a narrow lead, a 16th out from Badger Tooth, who continues to battle with Blame It on the Fun. Blame It on the Fun got it won. Blame It on the Fun from Badger Tooth. And then up for third will be Sweet.
The Maryland Jockey Club's Canter for a Cause cantered on with just over 300 entrants this year, coming from far and wide in this unique event to walk, trot, and canter over the famed Pimlico racecourse that showcased historic legends and champions. The only event of this type founded by Georgianne Hale. All benefits go to the renowned nonprofit, the Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance.
Well, this is a great event. I think it really showcases the thoroughbred can come out here and ride and come back to the racetrack and not have any issues. It's a great event for awareness and fundraising, and I think it's a great community event, especially with these people bringing OTTBs, because when they bring them here and they get to showcase them in front of everyone else, I think it's really fun. And because it's close to Halloween this year, we've seen a lot of great costumes, so that's good too. I think a lot of people assume that the racehorse ever came back to the track, that they would not be able to handle it. And we've seen today lots of horses come through the gate with little kids being let out, and things are fun. So yeah, I think once they're out of that racehorse mode for the most part, and they can come out to the track and enjoy themselves, and I think depending on what they're being trained for, they come back here and they know that this rider wants to canter slow or walk or trot, so it's good. It's good.
Whatever Find Faith to get squared away. And they're off. Find Faith got a quick start at the outside. Union League and Surprise Hello up there. And the Great Gazoo is the gray racing in the fourth spot. Dominguez taking fifth on the outside. Then Celtic Cousin is next. Your Analysis, an originalist following that. Not As Lucky as Us is back there, second to last position. And Open the Books trailing the field. A race on the backstretch with 5 furlongs left to run. Find Faith on that outside post. Over to the rail to lead the way, a length and a quarter. Surprise Hello second. And then outside is Union League. At the rail is the Great Gazoo, and then Dominguez racing in fifth. Your Analysis is sixth. Here's Celtic Cousin, who's seventh at the rail, into the far turn run and Open the Books to the back of the pack. And Originalist is next, tailing off back there. Not As Lucky as Us with 3 furlongs left to run. Find Faith to 1 to catch from Surprise Hello. Find Faith has more to offer. The inside is the Great Gazoo, trying to push on there for the third spot. And Dominguez racing on the outside. Your Analysis is in between horses. Celtic Cousin is saving ground, but still 8 from the front as they turn for home. Find Faith quickens up. Find Faith, furlong and a half left to run, opens up 3-4 length lead on Your Analysis. The Great Gazoo is in third. Celtic Cousins trying to pick up, but it's too late, it appears, as Find Faith is full of run today. Find Faith rolling home, and Richard Monterey and Find Faith. Find Faith, easy winner. Find Faith by 4. Your Analysis and Celtic Cousin. And then it was the Great Gazoo, followed by Surprise Hello.
probably the most beautiful racetrack in the country, to be honest with you.
The background is just beautiful.
I love Gulfstream Park because of the grandstand and the racing.
The weather is beautiful. The facility is phenomenal.
The Gulfstream Championship meet has become one of the top events of the year. You could come out on a Wednesday and see a future Preakness winner.
They're off in the Preakness.
The Run Happy Santa Anita Derby.
Got the unique 6.5 down the hillside turf course.
A whole lot of great racing here in California.
And we're off.
We have all three surfaces here, the only racetrack in the country to have all three surfaces. Being close to the ocean, being surrounded by some of the greatest horses and riders in history, it's amazing.
It's the prettiest thing you've ever seen. There's no one else has a background like we do.
And they're off. Battalion with a sharp break on the outside, and for love of country, between horses, Frosted Indian is right there, and up against it will settle right off that pace around that turn. Bobby G is next in line, and they're followed by Thorny Tail. Here's the favorite, about 4 off the early speed, getting over toward the inside around that first turn, and Frosted Indian on the outside for love of country down to the rail, head-to-head for the lead with Battalion in third, and up against it up there is Sharp fourth, and it's another 2 more lengths back. Crush It, Thorny Tail, they're about 6 from that speed now. Bobby G is next, and trailing the field back there is Assembly Point. A race down the backstretch, and still a battle up front. Frosted Indian outside, and for love of country down to the inside, still willing. Battalion is next, and up against it is fourth at the inside. As they head over the far turn, Crush It is in fifth position, and Thorny Tail is on the inside. Thorny Tail in that third flight of runners, a half dozen lengths off the pacemakers. Next is Bobby G, Assembly Point trailing the field. Round that far turn, and Frosted Indian on the outside. Frosted Indian shakes away from For Love of Country, and up against it, called on to run there from third. So too Thorny Tail out of the inside is pushing through an inside opening from Battalion, is dropping back. Then Assembly Point from dead last position, still double digits from the front. They race to the top of the stretch now. Frosted Indian up against it on the outside. Here's Thorny Tail firing up from third to the far outside. Thorny Tail's coming out deep. Into the center of the track is Thorny Tail, but Frosted Indian is digging in on the inside. Up against it, the Gray still battling away. A Game Gray is up against it, who's coming right at Frosted Indian, who's a bit tired and shifting. Out the center of the track is Thorny Tail. Up against it, in front as they're close to home. It's up against it. A very game Frosted Indian. They've had a good battle all the way down the line, and then it was third Thorny Tail, and next was Assembly Point or Bobby G. to 5. Now 3-2, Blame the Bourbon. And they're off. Blame the Bourbon very fast and clears from Dreams Delivered by a length and a half. Minx's Hips Don't Lie. I Once Stood Alone down to the inside. They're in the second flight. Hope He's Fast travels along in fifth, and Smart and Fast and Dart is trailing the field to the outside. Dart about 10 to 11 lengths off of Blame the Bourbon, who rolls along with a 3-length advantage from Minx's Hips Don't Lie. I Once Stood Alone. In between horses, Hope He's Fast is gaining some ground now. Then and back to the outside is Dreams Delivered. And here is Dart rolling into fourth position to the far turn run. Dart with a big move out there, 3 deep. 3 furlongs left to go. Blame the Bourbon. Dart charging hard to second. Minx's Hips Don't Lie. Then Hope He's Fast is in fourth. Dreams Delivered back in fifth. Smart and Fast second to last. And I Once Stood Alone trailing the field. They race for home. Top of the stretch. Blame the Bourbon takes them in. Blame the Bourbon a 3-length lead. Dart tries to sustain that run but seems stuck in second as Blame the Bourbon kicks free under Barbosa by 5 lengths. It's Blame the Bourbon. Dart is clearly in the second spot. Then to the inside is Smart and Fast in third. Blame the Bourbon by 5 lengths with a 16th left to go. It's a double shot for Barbosa. Blame the Bourbon. Blame the Bourbon. Blame the Bourbon from Dart and Smart and Fast. Dreams Delivered. And then Minx's Hips Don't Lie.
Thank you so much for joining us this whole weekend here in Maryland. We'll be back on Friday. First post time is at 12:25.